Hello everybody, this is Evostatus update 1B. In 1A, talked about the need to have a content voting system and the choice that I'm trying to make between Drupal and drigg. And it looks, between drigg and 5-star. It looks like I'm leaning towards 5-star because it appears to be more configurable. Seems to have a longer history, a bigger community working with it. Talked about the pros and cons in detail in 1A. I'm not going to go into that right now. These are kept to 10-minute limits due to YouTube's 10-minute requirement. So thus forth, there's 10 minutes here. Also, we're gonna be taking a look at how to implement a voting system. A point system, user point system. One that's karma-based or karma-like structure rather than just a flat-out reward structure, for reasons listed in 1A2. You could view that if you want to catch up on those reasons. Right now, I am having a problem. The center of the net is having a problem with its feed aggregation. Try to use feedapi and simplefeed. Feedapi seems to be much more configurable, and it looks like I'm going with feedapi. Much more powerful, much more in tune with the views content creation system of Drupal. Unfortunately, every time Poor Man cron is run, or the cron update is run, the new feeds, the new stories that are aggregated from the feeds are being updated into the comment area of other stories or other feeds. So that's a problem. Every time a new feed is updated, that updated story should be going to its own node content type, rather than the comment area of another existing node. So I'm trying to debug that and find out what the problem is. I believe it's because I'm using Poor Man's cron rather than a service-based cron solution. So I've talked to my host and I'll try to get the service-based cron solution going, and I'm also going to troubleshoot it to see if there's anything I'm doing wrong that's creating that problem. A little bit of a headache. Very simple thing, and when it works, it's going to be great. I'm on my way to getting it to work. You might not be able to see the voting system because it's only viewable for administrator right now. So I'll try to make that public as soon as I can. Let's talk about the layout design. Let's talk about the layout design of the news section. Google News has a very good model, I think, that I'm going off of. Google has selected about 20 or 25 different countries or so, both G8, non-G8, third world, first world. I'm using their countries of selection as a basis of the initial country selected for the center of the net, and it'll be definitely expanding from there. Google's news site, I think, is very efficient. However, I think there could be much more, which the center of the net has. But what my goal is to seamlessly integrate different languages and different content within one unified content structure, which is the center of the net. With Google News, you go to the bottom and you select the different countries, and then it gives you the same news with the same template structure. I like to follow that ideal to integrate every single feature in multiple languages. But my goal is to have the structure of selection be transparent. Even with Google, it's almost transparent. They've got the list of the countries at the bottom of the page, and they've got this drop-down menu. The menu placement might be a little bit different, but I want to keep the users united, and I want to have multiple language users using this site just as comfortable as any other language. I want to have the people that speak Spanish using it just like the people that speak English, not really seeing a difference. That's a long-term goal, so we're trying to design that. Next, in addition to that structure and those problems of feeds, as soon as I could get the voting, as soon as I could get the, well, first I'm working on the feed aggregation problem, then I'm working on the voting points, the voting implementation. Then after the voting implementation, I will probably go directly to creating what's called organic groups in Drupal, which is a user group creation system, which is like people create their own groups, and I'm going to create a couple groups to give you an example. If you look in the business news under media for the masses section, the first groups created will be there. One of the groups might be the News Hound group or something, where people contribute what they think the best news information is for business, and also people will be able to update, submit their own editorial or own factual-based news feeds and the different types of news. That will be basically like submitted link. And 10 years ago, 15 years ago, add your link here. Well, people are going to be doing much more than adding their link there in the NewsHound organic group, which anybody could join. And then another base group that's going to be started is one that deals with the current global crisis. I'm gonna put that in there, and that's going to be like a editorial focus group based on these problems. Have each organic group is going to have its own forums and subgroups and stuff like that. The possibility of subgroups. I'm going to have a couple base organic groups created, and then of course the organic groups that users are free to create will come later on. Speaking of users and that kind of stuff, user management and user pictures and avatars and stuff like that, that's all going to be coming down the road, okay? The way the site is being created is form definitely follows function, and I'm trying to learn as many new functions as I can that can be functionally implemented, and learning what the limits are, and then I'm trying to implement them and design around them. So stuff like CSS and beautiful things like that, that will be coming in last. CSS with Drupal is much more complicated than creating straight like CSS for something else, I guess. It's not impossible, it's just a little bit time consuming. I am one person working on this right now, and I do have a lot of work to do, so I'm trying to give as much time as I can to the center of the net, and it will be up and running. I encourage all of you to keep checking back whenever you have free time. But like I said, in the center, in the business section of Media for the Masses, that is where you're going to see most of the testing being done, and then we're going to go from there. Thank you for your time, and I'll continue to use these video updates for a little bit to keep you aware of what's going on, just to let you know things are not forgotten. Okay, I'm going to add another video log too. I know this is quite technical, so I'll try to add a brief one for people that don't understand the technicalities of Drupal and the real technical stuff. I'll try to add something like that, and if I have time, I'll add some, some video editorials related to news or something. But what I think about that stuff's not important. Really, I want to get the center going as fast as I can, and I am working as hard as I can. In addition to all the other jobs that I have, I'm sleeping about 4 hours a night, putting time into this. So we'll get it going. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next status update.